Hey everybody, I'm here to vlog about Yandy and Mendeecees' wedding that took place today. First of all, overall, the wedding was beautiful. It was very beautiful. It took place at Wayland B. Seymour's venue, which is in Brooklyn, and it's right in like the Williamsburg area, and that's not far from me. I was like, wow. So her wedding literally took place 30 minutes from where I live. So I was like, okay, that's cool. I thought she was in Manhattan because a lot of them that live out here in New York, a lot of them live in Manhattan, Yonkers, the Bronx. Some people live in Jersey, So I didn't know it was so close, and I know over there it was probably shut down. Traffic was probably crazy over there, but I wrote some notes about some things that went on during the wedding, and Yandy basically said that the bridesmaid dresses and the shoes, everything had to be altered because stuff wasn't in the right size. Stuff had to be sewn, crazy. And I mean, with a wedding, it's always chaos. Any big celebration for that matter is always chaos. Nothing ever goes right, but usually the outcome is always the greatest. So they took us down memory lane of the beginning of their relationship with pictures and such. And when they went to the back, they were asking Yandy about her bridesmaids or whatever, and she was looking for Kimbella. I guess Kimbella didn't make it to her bridal suite yet, but I had saw Kimbella. They showed Kimbella they caught her on camera before they asked Yandy where Kimbella was. So I think Yandy thought Kimbella was running late, but I think Kimbella had just arrived and she was coming upstairs. I don't know. But they made it look like, Yandy was upset that Kimbella wasn't there. So they did like pre-recorded clips, and they went to show like Yandy's everything she had to do leading up to her big day. So they showed her trying on a wedding dress, and she tried on a bunch of dresses that wasn't they didn't really look right on her. They weren't like nice for her body, like they were too big on her or whatever. So she found these two that were really pretty. The first one she came out in was like a nice it was a nice princessy looking dress. It had a corset in the back, and it had crystals aligned like the bustier part and going down like her torso. And the other dress was this one. It was like blinged out, like all over blinged out, and the bottom was like not frilly. It was like if it looked like netted or something. I don't know what that's called, that fabric. But I mean, both dresses were pretty, and she couldn't decide which one she wanted to walk down the aisle in. So she had viewers hashtag which one she wanted to walk down the aisle in. The first one was called Royal Queen, and the second one was called Bling Princess. So they waited till the end to reveal which one she wore. So this earring is getting on my nerves. I don't know why it keeps turning that way. So they go to Candy in her bridal suite, and Candy gave her gift for I guess her honeymoon or just her bridal gift in general. And it was bedroom candy, and they're talking about the lipstick and how it works. And of course you could see Jocelyn, because Jocelyn was there. Jocelyn and Stevie get nasty in the bedroom because Jocelyn was really sitting up there giving her own PG version of how her and Stevie use it. And I'm like, do we really need to sit here and listen to this? So they go again to when Yandy and Mendeecees picked up their rings, and I was looking at Mendeecees' ring, and his ring, it said it was only $12,000. And I mean, his ring was nice, but Yandy ring was more expensive than his. Her ring was 30,000, and her whole band had like diamonds going all around it. And the guy said that Mendeecees' ring was 5 carats and Yandy's was 6.5. I'm like, weddings are really more for the bride than they are for the groom. Cause I'm like, wow, like Mendeecees' ring is really $18. $18. Whoa, my math is way off. $18,000 less than Yandy's. I'm like, wow. So, sh- he said that he just felt like she was spending like a lot of money on like crazy stuff, and he told the jeweler, he said, ask her how much she's spending on flowers, and she said about 90,000, and he's like, I don't even get why you need to spend that much money on flowers. Like, you could have put that towards something else. For flowers, they're gonna die. They're useless after the wedding. So Yandy is like, I don't want like fake flowers at my wedding. I want people to walk into like a garden, like they're gonna smell and see animals, but we know the animals aren't there, but they'll think it's there because the flowers are fresh and whatever. And I'm like, I would not spend that much on no flowers, like. But I mean, people spend money on. I've heard of people spending money on crazier stuff. Like, I've heard of a person spending $800 for balloons. Yeah, balloons that's gonna pop in like 2 seconds. All you gotta do is get a pin, pop it. Yeah, $800 balloons. So they met up with Mendeecees, and they showed like all his kids, minus Skylar. Skylar wasn't there. Skylar was with Yandy. So we finally meet Mendeecees' other son. And for those of you who didn't know that Mendeecees had a total of 4 kids, yeah, I was reading somewhere that Mendeecees has another baby mother. I think she's either someone he got with when him and Yandy broke up, or while they were together, and that was the reason why they broke up. I don't remember the full story, but from what I hear, they're all cool with each other. Like, Yandy is cool with them, but the reason why we don't see the son, his name is Asim. They said the reason why we don't see him on Love and Hip Hop is because the mom doesn't want him on TV. She's trying to like protect him from bloggers and whatnot. And I mean, I get it, because sometimes these people get real evil on TV with kids especially, and they're like super innocent. So it was said that she didn't want him on TV. But as far as I know, when I last read it, her and Yandy are cool. Just like Yandy and Samantha, who is Lil Mendeecees' mother, they're cool. So I mean, that's good. And he's a cutie pie. He looks just like his brothers, just like Mendeecees. He is so cute. So they also said that Lil Mendeecees is his best man, and I thought that was so cute. Like, the bond that Mendeecees has with his kids is just beautiful. And Lil Mendeecees was like, "Yeah, I'm so glad to be my dad's side. I'm the best man." I'm like, oh, I just want to eat him up. He is so adorable. So again, they go to a pre-recorded clip of Yandy and Mendeecees talking about like they're doing their wedding vows, and when they got together, to talk about the wedding, Yandy said that she wanted Mendeecees to promise that, like, after they get married, they will have more kids. And Mendeecees is like, okay, I'm all for that, but I don't want to bring any more kids into this world, and I have this case hanging over my head. And I mean, he has a point, like, because his sentencing is in August, and if he um if he pleads guilty, I think he gets a minimum of 5 years. But I think if he doesn't, like if he pleads not guilty, he gets like maximum of 20 years or something like that. So like he'll do more years if he says he's not guilty than he does with 5 years. So he doesn't want to bring any more kids into the world that he's not going to be able to see for a while. So they go tuck shopping and and his mom comes, and Mendeecees admitted he doesn't know the difference between a tux and a suit. So the guy's like, well, what kind of wedding are you guys looking for? And Yandy is like, think of a princess and a prince. So the guy was like, okay, definitely a tux. So when Judy comes, Yandy feels like she's just annoyed because she feels like it's always something with Judy. Judy is just a lot of drama. She agitates Andy. So Yandy basically told her straight up, I blocked you on my phone. I don't call you because every time you call me, it's always for some foolishness. you'll call me and get mad at me because I didn't like a picture of yours on Instagram or respond to you on social media, and that's petty. We family. So I'm like, that is petty, and that's why some parents and social media should not mix. Not, I mean, I know y'all want to be hip, but some of y'all let this social media stuff go to your head. Y'all worse than y'all kids. It's crazy. So, um, K.Michelle gave Yandy um, her wedding gift and told Yandy how much she loves her and how proud she is of her. And when they went to Judy and they asked Judy about Yandy, Judy, Judy was basically, I don't know. I felt a little bit of shade coming from Judy. Because, I mean, Judy sent them well wishes, but her face said different. Like, she was just mad stoic. And she was like, I just wish Yandy the best. I think Yandy is a beautiful girl. And I just hope they, I just wish them the best. Like, how she was talking was just. I think when Nina asked her a question, all she said was, yes. And that was like a question, like, open ended. Like, we wanted her to say more, but she was just like, yes. Like, her face through that whole interview was like mad shady. And I was laughing. I'm like, girl. And that's why I'm like, Candy, I'm glad Candy stepped in and was like, listen, when it comes picture time and you take pictures with Yandy and Mendeecees, you make sure you smile in them pictures. Because remember, my mother didn't at my wedding. And now she mad that she can't do it over because she didn't smile. So you don't want to look crazy in the pictures. And I'm like, yeah, because you looking crazy in this interview. I'm like, why are they even asking her questions? Because she look like she is so over it. Like, she don't want no parts of this wedding. So, next they went flower shopping. But Yandy is like, why am I going flower shopping? I don't even have a venue yet. So her mate, I think it's a matron of honor, Ayana, was still looking for venues, and she's like, I'm busting my ass looking for venues. I'm looking for venues in Manhattan, Brooklyn, Connecticut, Jersey, here, there, everywhere, and I can't find anything. But I've been up, 2 in the morning looking this up for you. And Yandy is like, well, I feel bad that she's going through all of this for my wedding, but we need to get on the ball. I need a venue. So, it's just like an overwhelming, a whole, bah, my God, tongue twister. It's like an overwhelming feeling, like it's just a lot in such a short amount of time, it seems like. So, another pre-recorded clip, they was, talking about the blogs and how people are saying on the blogs that Mendeecees is getting, um, 40 years and all this other craziness. And Mendeecees is like, well, you got to stay off the vlogs because nobody really knows. Like, my sentencing is in August, and I have one or two options: maximum of 20 years. That's a mandatory maximum of 20 years, or I plead guilty and I get a minimum of 5 years. So I already signed the papers, and that'll be like, my options. He said I could win. He said I have, like, my chances of winning. I don't have to do no time, but if I lose, I would have to do more years than me, taking that chance to win. So that's why I signed a minimum of 5 years. Like, basically backup. And I mean, regardless, if he would have to do the time, the 5 years is better than 20 years. Because you don't want him coming out and all his kids is adults by the time he get out of jail. 5 years will go by like that. I mean, it's still, that's time away from his kids and everything, but it's less than 20 years. So take the 5. So, they just like, they're gonna, no matter what, they're gonna weather the storm. They're gonna get through it like they got through everything else, and everything will be okay. So this here had me like shaking my head. Rich Dollars and Moniece Slaughter at this wedding looking lovey dovey. I'm like, yo, weren't they just saying that he was engaged to Johnny Blaze? Like, Rich Dollars really loved these crazy chicks. He gonna mess around with one of these crazy chicks, and I think Moniece might be the one to do it. He gonna mess around and catch a serious case. Like, he gonna have some type of fatal attraction stuff happen to him. Cause Moniece is crazy. If you seen her on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, that child is crazy. But I don't know. To me, their relationship don't seem real. It seems so fake. It seems like it's a facade. Like they just put on for the cameras tonight because I don't know. I just can't take it serious. I can't take Rich serious with nobody, honestly, because he's always attracting these crazy chicks. I don't know. So, they get to. Oh, sorry, my daughter's asleep, so I'm trying to make sure she won't wake up. They get to K.Michelle and they ask K.Michelle, have you ever been engaged? Like, have you ever been married? So K.Michelle admitted that she's been engaged 3 times, and it got me to thinking, like, girl, your track record. Don't get me wrong, I love K.Michelle. I love her to death. I love me some Kimberly Michelle Pate. I love her to death. But I'm just like, her track record is just. And I really hope and pray, I mean, sidebar, but I really hope and pray that when K. Michelle does get a man, that her music don't go down the crapper. Because usually, these girls that, you know, their careers is based on them being, like, not having a man, going through tough breakups and tough relationships and whatnot. And it makes for good music. But it's like when they get in love, their music sucks. Like, prime example, Mary J. Blige. Certain albums, not all of Mary's albums. Let me make that clear. Certain albums, and Keisha Cole. Because after Keisha Cole got married, nobody really cared to listen to her music no more. I guess. I'm just saying. I love you, Keisha Cole. I do. I'm glad you back. But I'm just saying. So, moving on. They go to Yandy visiting her dad and bringing Skylar to see him, and she's seeing him after he had surgery. He had emergency surgery to get his leg amputated. So he said that it's a little painful for him to walk because it's the beginning stages of healing. So it's going to take a while for him to walk. And Yandy was afraid that he wouldn't be able to walk her down the aisle. And he's like, oh, no, no, no. Come hella high water, I'm walking you down that aisle. That's been your dream and that's been my dream. And we going to do this. However we got to do it. But we walking down that aisle. I was like, that's right, Papa. That is right. You tell her. So then, the nuptials start. They finally get, um, have the bridal party come out. And it took a while. Like, Yandy wasn't lying when she said she was going to have 32 bridesmaids. I remember her saying that on an episode of Love and Hip Hop before. And I'm like, geez. Because it's like, I feel like it took forever for her bridesmaids to come down the aisle. But the cutest thing ever was the kids. When Asim came out with that ring bearer carriage, I was like, oh, this is adorable. And then Amir came out with this cute sign that says, Daddy, here comes Mommy. I was, oh my God. And then when Yandy came out in her bling princess dress, I was like, oh, she looks so beautiful. Like, that dress was everything. She looked so beautiful. So, she walked down the aisle. They said their vows. And, for a second, I think the pastor was flirting with Yandy because he was like, you look beautiful. You look stunning. You look flawless. I'm like, dang, you going to salivate right in front of Mendeecees? Like, my God. But, it was a nice little wedding. They threw a couple of jokes in the vows and everything. And, Mendeecees couldn't wait to slob Yandy down. But Yandy, it seemed like she was afraid to kiss him. When you kiss the bride, that's when you're supposed to get your win on there. So, um, they made it official. They jumped the broom, went on to the reception. We couldn't see the reception, but I've been looking at little clips on Instagram of people who recorded the reception. It looked like they had a ball. So, that was basically the wedding in itself. I really enjoyed it. Like, of course, as a woman, you're going to look at that and think, oh, I can't wait to get married. I wonder what my day is going to be like. But it was a really beautiful wedding. And I'm so happy for Yandy and Mendeecees because they both deserve it. So, I'm just hoping they have like a lifetime of happiness and they weather this storm that's about to come. Another thing I wanted to talk about was when Stevie J was interviewing all these people about relationships who we know for a fact their relationships is. So he interviewing all these people to give advice to Yandy. He interviewed Rashida, and you know Rashida had some good advice, but some of the stuff she was saying, I was like, well, I hope you apply that to your marriage because we see your husband on TV, and your husband is a jerk. Like a lot of people feel like Rashida can do so much better. And then, you know, they was interviewing Ray J, and Ray J was like, oh, we need to respect our women. This is the look I had when he said that. Because I'm like, okay, you want people, you want men to respect their women, but didn't you call, I think he did. I think he called Tierra Marie a bitch on Love and Hip Hop, or he did something disrespectful to her. And then he pushed Princess in the pool, but I mean, that was a reflex, so I don't know if we could really fault him for that. And the main thing is, the boy's still bothering Kim Kardashian. Like, he's still bothering her. And it's like, let it go, bruh. And who else did they ask? Like, it was a bunch of people he was asking about relationships, and I'm just like, no. Because half the people he was asking, their relationships, we all know it's controversy there. But anyway, besides that, the wedding was beautiful. I like that the whole, like, it was everybody from, like, VH1, some people from Bravo. Like, you know how everybody in Atlanta and New York and everything, like, how they all come together. You know, they're cool. Like, Love and Hip Hop family, like, all three cities were there. My wives was there. Karen and Renee was there. Like, it was a lot of people. She had a lot of good, you know, guests that we know from these TV shows. But the wedding was beautiful. If you haven't seen it, you know VH1 gonna repeat it every day, all day till we sick of it. But it was a beautiful wedding, and that's my review for it. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Hope you had a happy Memorial Day. See you.